Let's go, everybody. Welcome back to another video on the channel today. In front of me, I have another tier list video. Now, you guys might remember a couple of months ago, I made an NFL teams tier list video, and this is kind of the update of that, the preseason update, if you will. I made that video back in June, I think, and it did pretty well. You guys seem to like it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it again. I got a green screen now, so that's pretty clutch. It looks a little bit better, I think. So, same categories as last time, pretty much. Super Bowl contenders, teams that are solid, mid, bad, and then my favorite category,
Dog shit.
let's start with the Arizona Cardinals. Unfortunately, no change from last time. They're still going to end up in the dog shit category. Kyler Murray's going to miss probably half the year. They don't look too good in training camp. They don't look too good in the preseason so far. I know they beat the Broncos by 1 point. Don't get used to it. It's probably the only game you're going to win this year. You know, the Cardinals, they're just a bad team, and they're going to be a team that is in top 1, 2, 3 pick contention. The good thing for them is that they own the Houston Texans pick, and we'll get to them later, but I don't expect their pick to be very good either. So it looks like they could build a good future in Arizona, but they're going to be bad this year. The Falcons, I'm kind of leaning more towards mid for the Falcons. Now, Bijan Robinson, I think, is actually going to be a really, really good addition. I think I probably underestimated it in my last video. They're going to run the fuck out of the football. I mean, they really are going to run the absolute shit out of that ball. Arthur Smith is a guy who's known for running the ball. That's pretty much all he did in Tennessee with Derrick Henry. And they have a good group of backs to be able to run the ball. Now, I still don't know how I feel about Desmond Ridder. I don't love him, but I don't know. It's kind of like the Jordan Love thing where you just really don't know. But I also think in last one that I did of this, I didn't give enough credit to their defense. Jesse Bates is going to be good. Calais Campbell is going to be good. Obviously, Grady Jarrett's still really good. So I think the Falcons could be solid. They're probably a 7 to 9 win team. I think it's pretty definition of mid, if you want to be honest. Yeah, and then the Ravens are going to be solid. They'll be solid. Their over under win total is like 10.5. That's pretty much right where I want them to be. The Ravens are, Lamar Jackson's great. Zay Flowers has looked really good so far, and the defense is going to be good. I know Marlon Humphrey now is out for at least the first couple of games of the season, so that kind of sucks, but they're going to be a solid team. I don't expect them to, be anything spectacular, but they're going to be a solid team nonetheless. Now let's go on to the Buffalo Bills. I really want to put the Bills in Super Bowl contenders, but a part of me kind of just holds my. I'll put him in Super Bowl contenders. Josh Allen, he belongs in the Super Bowl contender category as a quarterback. And their offense, Stephon Diggs is pretty good. I do like Dalton Kincaid. You guys call me on a good day. I kind of like James Cook right now. The Bills, if their running game can be better, I think that makes that offense even more complimentary. On defense, they're getting back Tre'Davious White, who missed most of last year. I understand Tremaine Edmonds left. I understand Leslie Frazier left. But from Bills fans I've talked to, Leslie Frazier was not very good at his job, and Sean McDermott was a defensive coach. So I don't think their defense will take as big of a hit as I originally thought. I'll put them in Super Bowl contenders. The Panthers, I think they're going to be bad, and that's okay because they have a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks are not known for being good. Bryce Young will probably not be good in year one. Their weapons on offense are really bad. Adam Thielen, DJ Chark is not moving me. Jonathan Mingo is not moving me. Miles Sanders is not moving me. Their offensive line is pretty good, and I think they have some pieces on defense. But in year one, it probably won't all click, I don't think, and I think they'll be bad. I'll probably give them 6 wins in 2023. The Bears, I'm going to put the Bears a tier above a position above the Falcons in mid. I think the Bears have a chance to get the number 7 seed in the NFC this year. And the reason I have them over the Falcons, talent-wise across the board, they're pretty much even. But I do like the Bears quarterback significantly more. I think Justin Fields has much more upside than Desmond Ridder does. And I think he can make game-winning, spectacular plays. And I just haven't seen it from Desmond Ridder yet. So I'll put the Bears above the Falcons. DJ Moore is great. Darnell Wright's going to be great. They really revamped the defense as well. Ryan Poles has been cooking all offseason. And the Bears will probably win 8 to 9 games this year, I feel. Cincinnati Bengals, Super Bowl contenders. It's Joe Burrow, it's Jamar Chase, it's T. Higgins. The defense is opportunistic. I don't know what else you want me to say. Last 2 seasons, they went to the Super Bowl, and then they were a field goal away from the Super Bowl. It's pretty easy there. The Browns, I'll probably put the Browns in solid. The reason I'll have the Browns as solid is because I think I probably underestimated how good Deshaun Watson could be this year. He hasn't played football. He hasn't played really a full season of football in like 2 years. So I think people kind of forget about him, myself included to a certain extent. if he's anything like he was in Houston, the Browns could be like really good. Nick Chubb is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Amari Cooper is one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. Their offensive line isn't what it was a few years ago, but it's good. The defense, they've got playmakers. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward. I know they added a couple of guys in the offseason as well. This Browns team on paper is good, but then again, when is a Browns team not good on paper, right? When it comes to actually executing in a game, that's when they have trouble. But I'm in a nice mood. I'll put the Browns in solid. Dallas Cowboys. You know what, man? You guys really caught me on a good day because I'm gonna put the Dallas Cowboys in Super Bowl contenders. I never ever buy into the Dallas Cowboys hype. I never do it, but it's really hard to ignore all of the green flags on this Cowboys roster. First of all, I don't think Dak is going to lead the league in interceptions this season once again. I don't think he's spectacular, but I think he's a solid quarterback. They do have a superstar wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb. They do have what I believe to be a superstar running back in Tony Pollard. They added Brandon Cooks, who was as solid a number two option as they come. The offensive line now with Zach Martin re-signing is still really good. And I think on defense is where they're really special. Micah Parsons is one of the best young defensive players in the entire NFL. Trayvon Diggs just got a bag. He's going to be in Dallas for a lot of years. The Dallas Cowboys, they also added Stephon Gilmore. The Dallas Cowboys on defense are led by Dan Quinn, who is, for my money, the best defensive coordinator in the NFL. They are going to take away the ball. They're going to be a great defensive unit. And if Dak can just not fuck it up, they're probably going to win at least a playoff game, I would imagine. Denver Broncos. To me, they kind of scream mid, unfortunately. Listen, I'm as big a Russell Wilson fan as they come, right? And I like Sean Payton. He's definitely a Hall of Fame offensive genius level head coach. Unfortunately, though, I think there's a lot working against him, right? Number one, the division and the conference is really, really good. Number two, you really need to see a big improvement for the Broncos to probably make the playoffs because a lot of AFC teams got so much better. Last year, the Broncos' offense and special teams was 29th in DVOA. I really don't know if we'll see two drastic improvements in those areas. You know, two of the three sides of the football, they were third and fourth worst in the NFL. It's a pretty high bar for me. Russell Wilson, he'll be better. I think the receivers are probably a little bit overhyped. I'm not really buying in on the Jerry Jeudy hype train part 5.0, but they'll be better. I worry about their defense a little bit because they've managed to stay relatively healthy. They lost Bradley Chubb in the trade deadline last year to the Miami Dolphins. I think they're probably going to win 8, 9 games. I'll put them right in the mid category. The Detroit Lions, I'm going to put right in solid next to the Ravens. The Lions have a lot of hype this offseason, and they're a team that people think are really going to take that next step. And I can't say I blame them, right? They added a lot of young pieces. Brian Branch, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell. They added C.J. Gardner-Johnson in free agency. They added a lot of dudes, right, onto an already good core. Guys like Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown. So the Lions definitely have something good cooking in Detroit. The jury, I think, is still out on if Dan Campbell is a great coach or if he's just a great speaker. Lions fans, don't kill me, but I think that the Lions are a pretty good team. For my money, they'll probably have the third seed in the NFC. They might even win a playoff game, depending on who they play at number 6. The Lions are good. They're a solid team. They're well built. I really love their offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. I think that they got something good in Detroit. Green Bay Packers, I'm going to put in mid. Again, the big question mark with Packers is just Jordan Love, man. Like, what's going on with Jordan Love? Is he great? Is he bad? Is he a little bit in between? Who knows? For right now, I'm going to lean towards he's probably not the guy. And because of that, I'm going to put them in mid behind the Falcons because at least the Falcons have something special. Like, the Falcons will win some games just by running the football. The Packers, to me, they don't have anything, like, special. Their defense isn't special. The quarterback, who knows if he's special. The running game's not special. So you lack a little juice with the Green Bay Packers. That's kind of why I have them in mid. In bad, the Houston Texans, unfortunately. I mentioned it with Bryce Young. The number 2 overall pick in the draft, C.J. Stroud, is probably not going to be good this year. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that he's not going to be a good quarterback throughout his career. But especially in a situation like Houston, defensive head coach, very few proven weapons. Receiver John Mechie, Xavier Hutchinson, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. Not guys that have proven anything in this league, really. Offensive line is pretty good. I think the tackles are pretty good. Defense is probably not going to be good either. Not that they're in a great division or anything, but the AFC, like I said, is just loaded. Texans are not going to be good this year, and unfortunately, they don't own their first round pick, so that kind of sucks a little bit. Indianapolis Colts. Now, I'm gonna kind of, I'm gonna put it right here. And here's why I say this: I love Anthony Richardson, and I really do think that he could one day become one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And he was just named the starting quarterback. By the way, I just made a video on it of the Indianapolis Colts. Now, here's the thing: I mentioned that rookie quarterbacks struggle. Rookie quarterbacks, especially like Anthony Richardson, struggle. Go look at Josh Allen. Josh Allen in his rookie year was not very good. I think they share a lot of the similar qualities, both in their build, in their athletic prowess, in their um, demeanor almost, but also in their lack of footwork, accuracy issues, not reading the defense well right away. Anthony Richardson is going to struggle with a lot of those things coming out of the gate. And because of that, I think the Colts are going to lose some games. They're going to lose a good amount of games. The goal for the Colts this year, though, I don't think is to make the playoffs. It's to develop Anthony Richardson for 2024, 2025. You become contenders, right? That's the goal. So I'm gonna do that right there for the Colts. Jaguars. I'm putting the Jaguars in Super Bowl contenders. I'm very high on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I really do think this could be a phenomenal team. I think they have something very, very special brewing in Jacksonville. And to be completely honest with you, I think they're probably one of the most underrated teams in the NFL. Look at their schedule. Look at how good they were at the second half of last season. To me, the Jaguars are a Super Bowl team. They're a team that's going to be able to compete right up there with the Bengals and with the spoiler Chiefs as a team that is going to be in the mix for the Super Bowl. I mean, I really can't see a way around it. The Jaguars are awesome. I love Trevor Lawrence. Calvin Ridley's great. Travis Etienne's great. Their defense is getting better. Doug Peterson has won a Super Bowl as a head coach within the last 6-7 years. So I think the Jaguars are going to do really, really well this year, and I think that they're a Super Bowl team. Another team that I think is solid is probably the Chargers. The Chargers every single year just get eaten alive by the injury bug. Just eaten absolutely alive. Last year they lost Rashawn Slater. They lost Derwin James. They lost Joey Bosa. They lost Mike Williams and Keenan Allen to injuries. And if they could stay mostly healthy, which I know is a tough task with the Chargers, if they could stay mostly healthy, I think this is a really good roster, especially because of the fact they have Justin Herbert leading their team. Justin Herbert is one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. And now you're bringing in Kellen Moore, who I really like from Dallas. You're bringing in Quentin Johnson from the draft. You still got Austin Eckler, who's a touchdown machine. This Chargers team should be pretty good. Again, they do have to play the Chiefs twice a year, which sucks. But I can see the Chargers being like the 5th or the 6th seed in the AFC. I think they're a really, really good team. And if not for them absolutely just choking away that playoff game to the Jaguars, I think we might be giving the Chargers a lot more credit for 2023. Let's go to the Los Angeles Rams. I really do think that they'll be bad this year, right? The Rams are just a few years removed away from a Super Bowl, and that's great. However, their roster has just fallen apart. Odell left. Andrew Whitworth left. Jalen Ramsey was traded. Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp all dealt with big injuries last year, and there's no guarantee that they stay healthy for this season. To me, this roster is very top-heavy. This roster is very thin at a lot of key spots. They are not nearly as talented as some of the other teams in their division, Seattle and San Francisco. And, I just don't think that they're that team anymore. I still like Sean McVay, obviously, but in my opinion, he's kind of got one foot out the door. His wife's pregnant. I know he's got offers for some TV deals. If I was Sean McVay, I'd really be thinking about all that other stuff that is less stressful than leading this Rams team right now. So I think they'll be bad this year, and that's totally okay because now at least they have their picks, right? The Raiders are going to be dog shit. The Raiders are going to be dog shit, and I'll tell you why the Raiders are going to be dog shit. Because they gave Jimmy Garoppolo $67 million. I mean, unless we're doing Mr. Olympia or Mr. Universe is what I meant to say. That's the only reason you should be giving Jimmy Garoppolo $67 million. I'll tell you what. The Raiders, man, bad coach. Josh McDaniels is just not a good coach. Jimmy Garoppolo, like I said, not a good quarterback. Their receiving room is actually pretty good. They have good weapons on offense. Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers. If Josh Jacobs ever decides to stop the holdout, he's a good running back. But that defense, man, that defense is bad. I mean, their pass rushers are going to be decent with Chandler Jones and Max Crosby. Chandler Jones was kind of a non-factor last year, let's just be honest. Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson, if he's good. But their secondary is just, yeesh. Not very good. The Raiders are going to be bad. They're going to get Marvin Harrison, and they're going to ruin them. How much you want to bet? The Chargers, I'm sorry, not the Chargers. The Dolphins, they're going to be solid as well. Now, I will move this Dolphins picture around depending on the amount of games that Tua plays. You tell me Tua plays less than 7, I'll probably move him right here. You tell me he plays probably 10, 12, 13, I'll probably move him right here. You tell me he plays 15 or more, I'm keeping him right here above the Ravens. They were a different offense with Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback last year. They were one of the most efficient and dangerous offenses in the entire NFL. And I really do think that the health of Tua is going to be the key component for this Dolphins season. Their defense, I think, is going to be much better with Vic Fangio. I'm looking for a big breakout year for Jalen Phillips and the defense. I know that they got Jalen Ramsey and that he got hurt and he's going to be out until like December. That sucks. But at the same time, you didn't give up anything to get him. You know, it's not like you gave up a key member. You gave up like a third-round pick and Hunter Long, I think was the guy. You're basically getting half a season of Jalen Ramsey for free. Okay, cool. The Dolphins I expect to be much, much, much better than they were last year, which is saying a lot because they were pretty good last year. I think they can make some noise in the playoffs, again, assuming Tua can stay healthy. All right, let's go to the Minnesota Vikings. Jake, I love you, my boy. The Vikings are going to suck this year. Last year, every metric said that they were a bad team, and yet they won 13-4, and that's just the epitome of good luck. I think, like every good fictional character, the Vikings' good luck is going to run out of them. They're not going to go 11-0 in one-score games. They're not going to mount the greatest comeback in NFL history against a former player of an organization that got hired midseason. None of those things are going to happen. The division's better. The Bears and the Lions, I think, got significantly better. The Vikings' temporary reign on the NFC North is over. Kirk Cousins is still going to be a good quarterback. The offense was probably going to be good, minus the run game. I think letting go of Dalvin Cook was probably a bigger move than they expected to make, in the sense that it will have bigger ripple effects than they expected it to. And their defense is bad, man. Their defense was really, really bad last year. 27th overall last year. I understand they hired Brian Flores. Brian Flores can't totally make up for a lot of the shit players on defense, right? Got rid of Patrick Peterson, got in Byron Murphy. Yes, that's an upgrade on the youth department, but I think Patrick Peterson was a great leader. I think the Vikings are going to be bad next year, unfortunately. The Patriots, they're going to be mid, man. The Patriots are just so boring, and they're so unexciting, but it's just Bill Belichick, and I can't. Every ounce of football that I know in me is telling me to not pick the Patriots under this year, which is set at 6.5. I look at their roster and I want to pick that under so bad, but it's Bill Belichick, and I just can't do it. I cannot pick the Patriots to be bad. I can pick them to be mid because they were mid the last couple of seasons. I cannot pick them to be bad. They will be better with Bill O'Brien. That's probably the biggest upgraded offensive coordinator of any team in NFL history over Matt Patricia. They will be mid. They will not be in the ballpark of the other three division teams in their division, but they will not be bad. I have to keep telling myself that, or else I'm gonna start betting the under, and I can't do that. The Saints are also going to be extraordinarily mid. They're probably a tier above the Falcons. I don't like their head coach, but I like their quarterback a lot more, Derek Carr. He's a proven solid quarterback. Their receiver room is also very, very good, and I know Calvin Ridley is going to serve that 3-game suspension. Their running game will probably be fine with Jamal Williams for a couple of games, right? Their defense is getting old, definitely, but they've got veteran guys on there who know what to do, and they've been a pretty good unit the last few years, so they'll be solid. Again, I'm really predicting a 9-8, 10-7 year for the Saints. That's probably because their division is so bad. They might win the South, therefore get the 4th seed, but really don't expect much more from the Saints there. The Giants, they're going to be bad as well. I'm sorry. This is the matchup of the wild card game last year, and I have them both being bad. I do, man. I'm sorry. I think giving Daniel Jones $35 million a year to be your quarterback was a big mistake. I think drafting him 6th overall was a big mistake as well, and you're just compounding mistakes, which is something you should never do as an NFL team. You're pissing off Saquon Barkley, not great. You still don't have a number 1 wide receiver. The offensive line's still not great outside of Andrew Thomas. And that defense, I understand they're kind of a scrappy unit, but outside of Kayvon Thibodeau, I don't see a lot of elite talent on that defense either. So I have a hard time believing that the Giants are going to replicate what I think was a lucky season last year for them. And I probably have them winning six games. That sounds about right. I'm putting the New York Jets in the solid tier. I'm going to put them right above the Detroit Lions. Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean, that'll do it to you. You'll go from 7-10 to a pretty solid team when you get Aaron Rodgers instead of Zach Wilson or Mike White. The defense, I do expect it to be pretty good last year. Last year was really, really good, and I think maybe they were a little overhyped. I do expect him to still be a very good unit. Sauce Gardner is a good corner. He's not better than Tariq Woolen by any means, but he's a good corner. Quinnen Williams is a really, really good defensive tackle, probably top 3 or 4 in the entire NFL. They're well coached with Robert Saleh on the defensive side of the ball. The Jets are going to be good, man. They're going to win probably 10, 11 games this year. They're going to be solid. And I think that with such a crowded AFC playoff picture, they could probably be the 6 or 7 seed, maybe the 5 seed. It'll all just kind of depend on tiebreakers and stuff like that. But they're going to make the playoffs, I think. And Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs, that's going to be a fun matchup for whoever plays. And that is going to be much watched TV. Philadelphia Eagles, yeah, I don't really need to explain this one. I'm just going to be real with you guys. They just got better. I saw Jalen Carter playing the preseason game. I pissed down the side of my leg, and I picked him to win the Super Bowl. That's pretty much all there is to it. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I think they're going to be kind of mid, but I'm going to put them at the top of mid because the Steelers are like they're like an overachieving mid because I don't love Kenny Pickett, to be honest with you. I don't love Kenny Pickett. Outside of TJ Watt, I do actually like their defense. Joey Porter's good. TJ Watt is, again, legitimately a defensive player of the year type of candidate player. They're going to be good. They're going to win 9, 10 games this year. Again, that division's good. I think they'll hold their own. Mike Tomlin's team will never go under 500, so I can't put them anything lower. That's probably a good mark for me. The Seattle Seahawks, I'm going to put right above the Baltimore Ravens. I could talk about the Seahawks all day. Here's all you need to know. Last year they went 9-8. In this offseason, they got the draft's best receiver, Jackson Smith and Jigba, to pair to an offense that was really, really good last year. They got arguably the draft's best corner, and if he could, stay healthy and actually practice, that would be great. Devin Witherspoon. They drafted the Thunder to Kenneth Walker's Lightning and Zach Charbonnet. They signed Draymond Jones to shore up their defensive line. They signed back Bobby Wagner to shore up their rushing defense, which was one of the worst units in the NFL last year. They lost multiple games last year because of their rushing defense. And if that unit can become average, their DBs are going to shine. I mean, they have super insanely talented DBs all over the field. They're going to be awesome. The team is going to be awesome if we can actually, get off the field on 3rd and 7 when they run a halfback draw. That would be great. But the Seahawks are going to be a really, really good team. I do think they're still a tick beyond the 49ers, assuming they solve whatever's going on with their quarterback situation. Brock Purdy is definitely the guy at this point, but is he going to be good or as good as he was last year is really the question. But even if their quarterback play isn't great, which we've seen the last, 5, 6 years, it doesn't matter. Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. You might think I just named the NFC Pro Bowl team. No, I just named the 49ers offense. On defense, they've got Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, 2 of the best defensive players in the NFL. I mean, it's insane. I mean, whoever's running this team is just playing Madden franchise mode and just drafting all the best players. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. We gotta get this kid out of the stream. Anyway, 49ers are great. They're going to be good. They're going to be fine. I don't care if Trey Lance is starting games. They'll be fine because they can run the ball 45 times a game with Christian McCaffrey running behind Trent Williams, and they're going to gain 5 yards a rush, I promise you. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to be dog shit, man. Like Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask is probably the cheesiest, goofiest, quarterback competition of all time. They're going to be ass. Last year, Brady was holding them together like sticky glue, and even Tom Brady couldn't even hold them together that well. The fact that he couldn't do it and he led him to just a mid offense, get out of here, man. They're going to be the worst unit in the NFL. Their defense is still fine. They still got Levante David. They still got Devin White. I still like some of the corners and stuff. But, man, that offense is going to be disgusting. I mean, Baker Mayfield's probably going to throw 20, 25 picks, if I had to be honest with you. Washington, they're going to be bad, but I'll put them at the top of bad because I like Sam Howell a little bit. I do. I like Sam Howell a little bit. I think he's all right. I've been seeing training camp videos. He'll be decent. He's not going to be a superstar by any means, but I think he'll be pretty good. And to me, that's good enough. That is good enough to put him in not dog shit territory. I don't love Ron Rivera. I will say, actually, you know what? I'm going to move him up because you know what? That defense is really good. That defense is really good. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, and De'Aaron Payne. That is a very, very scary top 4 in the defense and the defensive line. So I mentioned earlier in the video, like special unit. They have a special defensive line, and that is going to win them some games. And Sam Howell, now with Eric Bieniemy, if Sam Howell can be decent, they'll win probably 6, 7 games this year. Tennessee Titans, I really want to put them in dog shit, and I have in the past. But honestly, I had a friend talk to me about one of my videos and say that I can't put them in dog shit when Mike Vrabel's still their head coach. And they're right. As much as I hate admitting that I'm wrong, they are correct. I want to put them in bad because I think they have big question marks at quarterback. and their defense isn't super talented, and their receiver core sucks dick and balls. But I'm going to put them at the top of bad because Mike Vrabel is just going to will them to a couple of wins. They still have Derrick Henry, and the wheels haven't fallen off yet for Derrick Henry, and I don't want to anticipate anything. I don't want to put any bad omens on nobody. They'll still be able to run the ball. They'll still be able to play good, well-coached defense by Mike Vrabel. That'll win them some games. But this is my tier list for the upcoming season. This is part 2. If you guys want, you can go check out my video from a couple of months ago. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 500 by the start of the NFL season. I love you guys, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace out.